Is the new Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 a failure already? My hot take, the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2, or more accurately, the Superlight 1.5, is definitely going to be a massive disappointment, and I expect it to be a generalized failure, and I think they totally missed the mark. I'll explain why in today's video, along with the specs and questions that I have, as this right here, even though it looks exactly the same, is actually the OG Superlight. The Superlight 2, however, is available for pre-order at Logitech.com and will be coming soon to other retailers, but I haven't seen an actual official release date yet. I want to discuss your opinions on anything and everything in the comment section down below, so don't be shy. Starting off with the pros of the new Superlight 2, or my expected pros, I should say, since I haven't actually got my hands on the copy that I bought yet. It is the same shape, which is arguably the best shape on the market, so double thumbs up for that. It has also gone from micro USB to USB-C, which is definitely a win for convenience and is long overdue. I'm looking forward to burning my stupid micro USB cable and sending it back to the depths where it belongs. Begone, you foul beast, begone! 3. Logitech mice in general suffer from double clicks, but dang, do they feel amazing. I mean, just, ooh, oh, it's an orgasmic experience. However, now they are switching to Lightforce hybrid optical mechanical switches to bridge that gap of combining the speed, consistency, and immunity of optical with the feel of mechanical. However, there are mixed feelings about these switches in the G502X, which is what they released on first, which raises some concerns. However, shell design heavily influences click feel, making me hopeful that the Superlight 2 will do it better. But based off the reviews that I've seen from the Techni, Haas Gaming, and Bad Seed Tech, things are not looking all that great, as they appear to be louder, crisp, but require a lot more pressure to actuate and don't appear to be as good as their previous 20mm Omrons. And I think the biggest takeaway from that is, one, the Logitech G Pro X Superlight, the OG Superlight clicks really aren't that loud, and then also they're just so crisp and so light that they make it highly spammable. When you increase the resistance it takes in order to click, it tends to just not be as clickable or feel as good, and I think that's something that a lot of other optical switches struggle with, is noise level and how much pressure it takes to actually actuate. So I'm very curious to see the community's reaction to the new clicks and if it's going to be a net win or not, and I'm afraid that it's not going to be, but we'll see. I'm holding out hope. I really am interested in seeing how it all breaks down. As I'd argue, the two main things that make the Superlight is the safe shape and the premium click feel, as performance-wise, they no longer hold a lead, as finally, after many, many years, the competition has caught up and surpassed in some ways. So if the only box that they're able to check is the shape, I wonder what will happen to one of the greatest mice of all time. Moving on to number 4. With the Hero 2 specs, it raises questions if it's actually truly new, as the Hero has the ability to be updated via firmware/software, which is how they went from 12,000 DPI with the G305 to 16,000 DPI with the G Pro Wireless to 25,600 DPI with the G Pro X Superlight, and now they're jumping from 25,600 DPI to 32,000 DPI, 400 to 500 IPS, and the same 40G acceleration, making me question my sanity. I feel like I'm being bamboozled right now, and I don't like it. As my biggest complaint of the Superlight is the sensor, as it feels floaty and not as accurate as Razer's Focus Plus or Focus Pro sensor, and I was hoping the newest Superlight would resolve that issue, as that is the main reason why I don't use this guy, despite me enjoying the shape more. But since these specs are disappointing when compared with the Focus Pro, which also supports 30,000 DPI, I know, Logitech's got it in the bag with 2,000 more DPI, but this is where the real kicker comes in. 400 IPS compared to 750 IPS, 40 Gs of acceleration compared to 70 Gs of acceleration, and most importantly, 99.8% resolution accuracy with the Focus Pro, where Logitech previously said the Hero was 98%. However, I'm not 100% how sure that stat has gotten. I feel like it's improved, but I remember reading 98 a lot back in the past and semi-recently. The Focus Pro also has adjustable liftoff and landing distance along with motion sync. Logitech, why thou art shaft us. Time will tell if Logitech has added other important features outside of the typical marketing terms I just listed of DPI, IPS, and G acceleration, as I've had a hard time finding more information about it. It does look like you can adjust the DPI in 5 DPI increments compared to the usual 50 to 100 DPI with most of the competition, so I guess, that's absolutely game-changing. Along with adjusting the liftoff distance from low, medium, or high, which has pretty much been on any top-of-the-line sensor for years now. So I'm glad that Logitech is finally joining the fray. And I know some of you guys are doing backflips right now. You mean I can adjust liftoff distance? We live in a time of wonders. One last point about the sensor. I'm not sure if the feeling that I'm getting is actually from the sensor or not, but my reasoning on why I think it is because Logitech and Razer are two of the best when it comes to latency and are essentially equal in that respect if you remove the shape, size, and weight and stay at the 1000 Hz polling. As all Razer mice and all Logitech, to me, feel relatively the same in the sense that Razer always feels more responsive, accurate, and like an extension of my hand, despite me preferring the Logitech's shape, where Logitech just feels floaty and semi-inaccurate. Which makes me wonder if this new sensor/update will improve accuracy, add motion sync, and improve the feeling of the Hero 2 to dethrone Razer. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Do you feel a difference between the Focus Plus/Focus Pro sensor and the Hero/Hero 2 sensor, or am I just on crack? I feel like that last one is probably pretty likely. Moving on to number 5, the Superlight has some of the best battery life on the market, and they are increasing it from 70 to 95 hours. And we get USB-C. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I'm wondering exactly where they got the 26 more hours from, as usually optical switches, because it's a light, takes more energy, along with the 2000 Hertz polling rate, making me think the Hero 2 must have some amazing power efficiency, and maybe one reason why the specs haven't increased all that much, as the diminishing returns for a slight boost in performance may not have been deemed worthy from Logitech, as most people can't tell a difference between sensors anyways, as I don't think that they put a bigger battery in, seeing as it's 3 grams lighter and will most likely be really well balanced, as that's just something that you expect out of a premium product like this, especially one that is oriented towards first-person shooters. In one of the reviews that I saw, it said that the battery life is currently of the Superlight 2 is close to the V2 Pro, which is 80 hours at 1000 Hertz. But regardless, we're at a point where I don't think battery life is even an issue, as it's all excellent, and if you are semi-responsible at plugging it in at night, then you'll be perfectly fine. And if you are not one of those people, I say to you, do better and no longer be a disappointment to your family. They ask you for one thing: to plug in your mouse once per week. That's it. I believe in you. You can do it. Going on to number 6, it looks like they have kept the same on-off switch, which is one of my faves of all time, as it turns off extremely easy to turn on and off with one hand at like multiple angles too, man. You can trick shot turn it on, where a lot of other wireless mouse these days, you can't do that. So I'm really happy that it did that. They also kept the same dongle, so you can still hide the dongle for travel, and that is something that Razer definitely gave the finger to. But moving on to the long list of cons. 1. 63 grams compared to 60 grams is negligible. However, it is extremely safe, and I would argue the sweet spot for most people, enthusiast or not, as research has shown that 60 grams appears to be the bee's knees of weight, and going below that shows diminishing returns quickly, and for some, even worsening of results. Check the description for a link to those studies in case you're curious, which is likely why they chose it. Last, casual/mainstream users of mice tend to think that since it is lightweight, it is cheap and therefore crap. Utter crap. Is not a good take, but hey, you know, it is what it is. I'm not too upset about the weight personally, as again, I think this is the sweet spot from my testing and general consensus that I've seen online and in my comment section. But a mouse labeled as super light, not being anywhere near some of the lightest mice on the market, is a bit ironic, seeing as there's a ton of them that beat it, including the upcoming Ultralight X from Final Mouse is supposed to be 30 grams. Now that is what I call super light. This, I just call light. Moving on to number 2, 2000 hertz is essentially pointless, and I think is a total miss from them, as the current industry standard for premium mice is 4000 hertz, with the expectation of 8000 hertz since it's Logitech, the other giant in the industry. Corsair has had 2000 hertz for a long time that people could care less about. In fact, most of you probably have a Pikachu face going on right now. What? They have 2000 hertz? For how long? Years, I'm telling you, years. With the ability to get 4000 hertz with $99 mice. This guy is $160, which is insane. That's even more expensive than the Viper V2 or the Death Adder V3 Pro or a bunch of other mice, which is crazy, seeing as it doesn't have premium specs. But more on that in a minute. I honestly don't understand the reasoning behind this, as despite what most people say, higher polling rate does reduce latency and gives you an objective advantage in games in multiple ways, even if you aren't fully aware of it. Some of my thoughts are maybe that they chose this for stability or better battery life and to work on any computer. Previously, higher polling rate mice used to tank frames, or technically they had a potential to tank frames, making it impossible to get that ace, baby. But however, Windows 11 came out with an update that has completely resolved that, for me at least, and I think a lot of other people, as that's what I've seen online, but I'm not sure if that works on Windows 10 or PCs that have lower end processors. I was recently looking at a Steam thing and it said that still, what was it, 56% of people are on Windows 10? So if that's the case, then I understand some of that reasoning. But my money is on the following. Maybe it comes at 2000 hertz with the included dongle, where Razer's comes with 1000, so that's a leg up there, and congratulations. And maybe they will be releasing something similar like Razer with an additional 4000/8000 hertz polling dongle down the line, and maybe they'll even go ham and go to 10,000 hertz, and our minds will be blown. With all that said, I'm hoping there is more behind the scenes here, as even if you're in the camp of higher polling rate is a complete gimmick, that you can't feel it and it's completely pointless, if you are selling a premium/Halo product, it needs to compete with others in the same price range, so you do it anyways to stay competitive. My only other thought is that Logitech does like to work with pros, especially with this product. Maybe at 2000 hertz it is perfectly stable, making it so there is constant variance, allowing for more consistent play. Another way of putting that is if you limit frames in a game, you get more consistent frame times despite having increased input latency. But since that latency is consistent, you adjust to it better because it's not varying at all, making you more consistent and be able to hit your shots more often. Whereas if you have it unlocked, you may get higher frames, but lower frame time/latency. But when it drops, when the frame rates drop, that drop also increases your latency, which then causes you to mess up as the feel of your cursor is different. Hopefully I explained that well enough. 3, there doesn't appear to be a DPI button on the bottom of the mouse, just an on-off switch, which means those who like to change their DPI on the fly are left hanging or dealing with the atrocious, and I seriously mean it, the atrocious Logitech G Hub software. That if it were a person, it'd probably be a serial killer that lures its victims into a fancy-looking van, promising delicious treats before offing them, but only after torturing them with rotten foods and expired candy does he give them the sweet satisfaction and release of death. Number 4, PTFE feet were a main complaint of the previous mouse. Not only do they not look like an improvement, but have a totally different shape, meaning all those third-party feet that people have accrued over all this time, no longer viable, which adds even more cost to a premium tiered product, which is just crazy talk, I tell you. What you doing, Logitech? You be crazy. Number 5, price. Seems like a lot for what you're getting, but what justifies a premium priced product? My first take is that I find $159 to be excessive for this mouse. It should be closer to $130, as I feel like I'm paying for the Logitech G Pro X Superlight name only, as the specs are equal to $99 mice. However, the firmware, shape, feel, balance, quality, performance from a latency/wireless/consistency standpoint is premium tiered. So, does a premium product mean it has premium specs, premium performance, or both premium price and performance? My take is that a premium product needs to have both, not one or the other, as just having one or the other is what makes a high-end product, not a premium one. I was also frustrated to see when I was purchasing mine that none of my coupon codes had worked. You son of a... So obviously I had no idea that that would actually work, and I would have liked to have saved some money. So that makes the price a lot more palatable at $143. We're in a different ballpark, and that deserves some more discussion. So I do highly recommend using the code Shroud or Dr. Lupo or any other type of streamer for a good discount, because it looks like that actually works, which is fantastic news that I didn't know about and makes their pricing a lot more sense of, hey, if you're a sucker and you don't know about the coupon codes, you can pay more, which I totally did and am very upset about. As all of the other coupons that I tried before just now trying to make this video, which is why you're getting the scuffed quality, didn't work. So, yeah. The lessons you learn while editing videos. Whereas with the Viper Mini SE, which is a significantly more expensive and Halo product, allowed coupon codes. So I just, again, hate the gatekeeping that Logitech does on their Superlight by just constantly keeping it at the premium price tier and never giving good discounts in the US at least. The cheapest I've ever seen the Superlight is what it's at right now at $129. Which is insane after how old it is, and the specs that you get for this is just like, I don't understand that at all. But last point on price, with the minimal upgrades here, saving your money and going with the normal OG Superlight will likely be my recommendation, especially if you can get it for a lot less, as it is still essentially the same exact mouse, and you're only upgrading ever so slightly. But we'll see. I'll hold that final recommendation for when I actually get the mouse and I'm able to test it, A/B test it. Moving on to the questions that I have. Another complaint of the G Pro X Superlight was the side buttons. They're mushy, they're awful. I'm hoping that those have improved, and it would also be really cool if they went back to the G Pro wireless ones that were modular for those left-handers out there. But that looks to not be the case. Because guess what, left-hand dominant users? Get effed. That's what Logitech is telling you right now. Number 2, it'll be interesting to see if they keep the OG Superlight with mechanical switches and also have the Superlight 2 on the shelves, or if this will truly take over the OG to Superlight. My assumption, and how much Logitech loves their money, is that I think they're going to keep both. The OG Superlight at a slightly reduced cost of $129, which is me scoffing because, again, slightly reduced cost of $129 is still ridiculous, and the Superlight 2 at $159. That way, they can make all them dollar bills, baby. All them dollar bills. Moving on to number 3. While I think they hit the main things that people have been asking for, such as decreased weight, optical switches, USB-C charging, higher polling rate, I think they did that with the least effort possible. I ran out of air there. And this is not enough to be competitive or dethrone Razer, much less the OG Superlight, which I personally find to be disappointing from a titan in the industry. But people still salivate heavily about the Logitech G Pro X Superlight, so the G Pro X Superlight 2 will definitely be no different, as the simping for Logitech G Pro Superlight is next level, and that's why I'm saying Superlight so often. I have no doubt that a good number of people will disagree with my opinion of this being a meh or poor upgrade, and know for a fact it will definitely sell like hotcakes. I'm pretty sure it's going to be completely sold out for like months, but we'll see. I'm interested in your opinion though. Is this refresh/update what you were hoping for? Will you be buying one at launch? Will you be waiting for a sale? Or will you wait until your current mouse breaks? Or just skip it altogether? I'm curious to hear your opinions in the comment section down below. Moving on to the conclusion, my last 2 points have nothing to do with this mouse, but we are in a golden age of gaming mice. There are so many amazing options out there right now that we have the pleasure of being highly nitpicky about our options and complain about mostly completely inconsequential things, which is awesome. It's a great place to be, so despite my negativity, I am elated about a new mouse from a titan of the industry. But do not think that you should be upgrading to this mouse if you already have an upper end / premium mouse that is in working condition, as I just don't see how it could be worth the monetary investment, because I don't think you're going to get a whole lot back for that. But do think that if you happen to be needing a new mouse, this should definitely be on your consideration list. Again, Superlight 1, not Superlight 2. Wait for that review for my final thoughts on that. But I have just a feeling based off of Logitech's track record that it'll probably be good. Not great at this point because of the specs, but good. 2, we need to remember consumerism. The next best thing is always around the corner. It's engineered to be that way. But that doesn't mean that we need to fall for that trap, as we gamers love to chase the next best/shiny thing. We want the thing that all the pros are using, that all the reviewers are saying are the best thing since sliced bread, that can perform, that allows us to perform better and unlock our true gaming potential. But that is just a myth, and the truth is, if you have any mouse that is modern and mid to upper tier, that gear is unlikely to be the thing that's holding you back, and buying yet another mouse won't all of a sudden let you get into Masters and Apex Legends if you've been stuck in Bronze. The thing that you should be focusing on instead is practicing your chosen game with intention. So what does with intention mean? It means that repetition or doing something for a long period of time doesn't guarantee success or mean that you're going to get it better at something. Instead, you need to be deliberate in how you are practicing by focusing on the specific things each time you game. That's how you get better, and that's how you learn, such as learning maps, positioning, good form, why you're missing your flicks, or why your tracking is so poor, so you can master your craft at every level. If you have a product you already enjoy, there is 0 point in upgrading or changing. I'd say the same thing about the Razer Viper V2 Pro, DeathAdder V3 Pro, or Razer Viper Mini SE, or really honestly any other mouse out there, as constantly chasing the next shiny or new thing distracts us from the truly important things that actually move the needle forward, which is playing with intention. But with that said, I've already bought one, look forward to trying it out, absolutely wanted to knock Razer out of first place as competition is great for us consumers, but think it will have its hands full trying to dethrone this guy right here, the OG Superlight, much less Razer's current offering or a lot of the competition, to be honest. So I think we're going to have to wait for Final Mouse's Ultralight X and see how that one stacks up with Razer's current lineup. If you're interested in seeing that review, make sure to subscribe and turn on that bell notification so you know when it goes live. Your thoughts, I want them right now in the comment section. Otherwise, God bless and peace out.